There's Nassau. We sailed over here from Bird Cave, which was amazing. Can't wait to go back there, actually. If the wind direction and everything were different for the next few days, I would have stayed. I might have even stayed there a week. But anyway, you can see the cruise ships all lined up right there. There they are. And there's the Paradise Hotel, Casino place, whatever. We're gonna spend a couple days here. We'll see what's going on. So we got anchored between New Providence Island, which is the city of Nassau, and Paradise Island. And then we took a short dinghy ride over to the Atlantis Paradise Hotel Casino. Went over to this is Paradise Lake, and to see if there's a dinghy dock so we could go to the casino. We really didn't find one, so went back to the boat and decided to go into town. Nassau is the story of two cities, that's for sure. We're going to get into that.
Banyan.
A banyan?
A banyan tree.
Banyan tree. Wow.
Jumping out.
Wow. That is just amazing. The canyon that we're standing in was carved starting in 1793 to 1794. And it was carved out by hand with over 600 slaves, and it was carved in order to build Fort Fincastle, which we are climbing the Queen's Staircase to go see. Now the Queen's Staircase is supposedly in commemoration of Queen Victoria, who supposedly gave freedom to the black slaves of the Bahamas after she became queen. But the truth is that they had their freedom 3 years before she became queen, and that was a matter of the Parliament in England granting the slaves their freedom, and slave owners were compensated for the loss of the use of their slaves. The primary reason why the English did it was so that it made it more fair for companies that did not have slaves to bid on jobs. It just wasn't fair for slave owners to bid on jobs where they basically had free labor. So it came to Parliament, and like I say, it was provided for the slave freedom 3 years before Queen Victoria became free. As we're touring Fort Fincastle, this fort is shaped like a boat, so as you see it from offshore, of course there's so much trees and foliage these days you couldn't see it from offshore. But as you see it, it's supposed to look like a ship underway, so it's got a pointed prow, and it stands on the highest point of New Providence. So, who built Fort Fincastle? There. Oh, that's a better picture, isn't it?
Right up the corner.
Lord Dunbar built it, had it built. Fort Fincastle.
Tin Castle by Dunbar.
I guess. It's the highest point on, what is this island?
This is New Providence.
New Providence. Yeah, he was the, was he the governor? Yeah, he was eventually named the governor of New Providence. And he was such a crabby old man that the Queen of England had to remove him from his post in his older age.
He was crabby in the Bahamas.
He was in the Bahamas and he was a crabby old man.
Those are the air vents. Take a picture of those air vents.
Yeah, those air vents go into the gun rooms that hold all the powder. It's amazing the amount of air that comes through those little vents. This fort never saw any action. And it's also a long way from the water. A long way. So, here we're talking about Fort Charlotte, Fort Montague, and the Winton Battery, huh? Potter's Cay Battery, Old Fort Battery, and Hog Island Battery. Hog Island, I know where that is. So we took a little tour of the city of Nassau on the bus system. Very interesting. I must say this is where we really got the impression of there being two Nassaus. So you have the Paradise Island Nassau and you have the real Nassau, and there's a lot of poverty to go around. We were kind of taken aback by some of it, quite frankly. So here's Victoria Avenue, and they're always celebrating the Queen. I mean, that's one thing. They just really love Queen Victoria everywhere you go in the Bahamas. This is a sand soccer field. I cannot imagine playing soccer in powdery sand. As we left the soccer field, we got to go over the Sidney Poitier Bridge, and he was a big deal actor back in the 60s, I think. Anyway, we were going over the bridge to Paradise Island, and here's a few pictures. And yeah, you know, up there you get a nice view because they had to make these bridges tall enough to get the sailboats and big ships under them. So a nice view on our way to the casinos. So you can ride on that mail boat from port to port through the Bahamas. It's not free, they charge you. So, after crossing the bridge, we had a nice lunch at Margaritaville, and then we proceeded to the Paradise Hotel Casino known as Atlantis. And what a beautiful place, kind of blown away. You know, we really enjoy walking around these places. Gail and I, we don't gamble, we don't smoke, we don't drink, so there's not much for us to do but just kind of walk around and look at places like this. But it's certainly beautiful. I hope you've enjoyed our little trip to Nassau.
It is sunset officially now.